All right, episode 3.
Episode 3.
Here we are. So,
Here we are.
Well, I'm excited to do this next one, because now we're kind of getting into the meat of everything. And I know in our last episode we just talked about a lot of the data is proving to show that things are moving in the right direction. But this episode, I wanted more to talk about some of the pitfalls that a lot of homeowners, first-time homeowners, may actually run into.
Yes, specifically because all the factors are pointing towards, and we're starting to actually see it play out on the market. Those first-time home buyers are coming off the fence.
In your opinion, in your expertise, what do you see more commonly, like certain mistakes that first-time home buyers actually make?
Not doing their research ahead of time. So I always tell people, it's never too early to start getting pre-qualified, interviewing agents. I call it online shopping. We all love to online shop.
Yeah.
Even if you're not buying until 2027, 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, start kind of looking at what homes are selling for in the areas that you like online. Go to open houses. Even I tell my clients, give me a call if you want to see it. I know you're not buying until next year, but let's start looking. So you can get your head wrapped around what the market is offering and be more prepared when you're ready to make a move.
But what about those that maybe are not financially ready yet to do that? Do you still encourage them to start looking, or is it maybe something that, no, they need to get their finances in order first?
It's kind of a double-edged sword there. So I would definitely say, because if they find something they absolutely love and they are not able to buy yet, that can be frustrating, right? So that's frustrating. But again, then they have an idea of what they like and what they don't like when they are ready to buy. I still think it's okay to start early.
That's good. Good. So kind of like my wife. She's always like, she's kind of like, let's just go out there and see what there is, because I mean, why even really begin the process if there's really nothing out there?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And there's so much more inventory than there has been in the last 7-8 years. So I did a presentation this morning and ran a lot of statistics for that. And we are at 2,300 units or homes, and that's new construction and existing homes. So that does include, like, if a builder just went and dug a hole and lists the house that he's going to build that will be ready in 9 months. So just keep that in mind. So there's about a quarter of that inventory that isn't even built yet. But we have 2,300 homes on the market right now today, and that is up. We're almost at kind of pre-pandemic inventories, just a little bit higher. I think it was 2,100 in 2018, and 2019 it was like 2,000. So we're kind of getting back to this pre-pandemic inventory. So that's great for buyers. And because the market time is just a little bit longer, we're back to like a 30-day market time rather than a 2-day market time, or more like a week market time. So more agents are having open house. My point being, more agents are having open houses before the home would sell, before you can even do the open house. So go to those open houses, do some research, research the neighborhood, walk around the neighborhood.
What I'm hearing then is not a bad thing to start early.
Very advantageous for a buyer to start early.
Okay. So another thing, for those first-time home buyers, what's the difference, or is there a difference between a pre-approval versus pre-qualified? Talk to me about that. What's the difference there? Because maybe for a first-time home buyer, they're thinking, well, isn't that the same thing?
Right.
And second question to that is, should you be getting that before?
So pre-approval is pre-qualification light. So sometimes a pre-approval may mean that the lender has looked at, maybe just looked at your application and what you put on the application and produced a pre-approval based on what you have supplied. Now, a pre-qualification, the lender has dug a little deeper. So they've pulled credit, they have check stubs, they have tax returns, and basically you're they have completely approved you for that price range and that purchase, except for a couple conditions. One may be a home sale if you have a home to sell, but probably not in a first-time home buyer, obviously, and an appraisal.
Okay.
So that would be the only qualification to be met. So when you are giving a seller an offer as a first-time home buyer, your offer looks a lot stronger if you're pre-qualified rather than just pre-approved. Mm-hmm. All the documents have been reviewed, your credit has been pulled, and you're ready to go on this particular home, just given an appraisal. So,
how long do they last? Because if you're pre-approved or you're pre-qualified, is that something that, let's say during that whole year's time that you're pre-approved and pre-qualified, or how long do those typically stand for?
Like, is it too early to get fully pre-qualified today if you're not planning to buy in a year?
Correct.
So twofold on that. So you do get, from going from pre-approved to pre-qualified, that qualification, there is a credit check, and that does hit your credit. So you definitely want to be aware of that. Now, it's not the worst thing ever that's going to happen, no. Mm-hmm. It is going to ding your credit incredibly, like a large amount, no. Mm-hmm. But just be aware of that. And those qualifications typically last 60 to 90 days. Okay. Or that's they expire. Now, can the same lender easily re-up that when you're ready to go to purchase? At least you kind of know ahead of time, like, okay, I know I'm good in this range. And by the way, almost everybody gets qualified for more than they are comfortable spending.
They actually do.
Yeah. Yes. So so most people do not
need the full amount.
To end up spending as much as they can. That's very common as well. So I would say go for the full pre-qualification. Also, another thing to keep in mind is a year later, your income may be different. Well, that's okay, because you go back to that lender, you update the documents, and here's the twofold of that. You're completely ready that if something happens and this perfect property comes up, and you're not buying until next year, but oh my gosh, we love this home, you're ready. And if you in conversations with your partner, your family, say, you know what, let's take the move. You can jump on that home before somebody else does, and you're ready to go. Okay. So even if it wasn't in the plans, plans change. I would say definitely in residential real estate, plans change a lot.
Okay. No,
quite
that's
often.
Good. No, that's good.
And it's normal and it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people buy the first home they walk into. Some people look for 10 years. Yes, that's been my. I closed a house with some clients. Gosh, how long ago was that now? It was probably 14, 15 years ago now. And the wife said to me at the closing table, "Well, Jen, we're the longest client. We're the longest client you ever had. We've been looking at houses for a decade." I was like, "Oh my gosh, Anna, you're right. We have." But that's what it's all about. It's not. There's no perfect playbook. Kind of like with parenting. There's no perfect playbook that anybody gives you on how to raise kids, or how to when you take this baby home from
you just gotta go.
You just gotta go and do what feels right and what's right for your family.
Talked about a playbook, but and this is all great information, but then I'm thinking too, because I'm more of like a visual person, so I'm trying to think, okay, if I'm gonna be buying this home, is there something that someone can give me to kind of show me like what things maybe I should miss? Because half the time maybe I don't even know what questions I should ask.
Yes.
So are there things that you would recommend first-time home buyers asking? And second, is there something that you actually give them so they can follow through on themselves?
Yes. So yes and yes. So what I would recommend first-time home buyers asking is for the seller disclosure, which the seller will has to provide to any buyer looking at the property. And that's a 4-page document that the seller fills out about how old the furnace is, when's the last time the furnace and AC were serviced, how old is the roof, how, just all about the systems and all about, has there been any settling, it just tells you all about the condition of the home. And then secondly, a lot of sellers are getting and what we call pre-inspection. So they're actually getting their house inspected before they even list it.
So that's coming back now.
Yeah, it's coming back now.
That's good.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And so, if there is a report like that available, review that with your agent, because it is kind of, it's something that we look at every day, but not something like anybody, like the regular consumer would look at every day. So we can kind of skim through or look through and figure out what are some things that we may need to dive deeper into.
Well, I think that's good, because even on the insurance side, I think about that report is something that we would want to know, because I mean, from our side of it, the way that I view it is, if we can have that inspection report, and this is for first-time home buyers, is we know where to place you and where not to place you. And a lot of times right now, they're getting very particular on, the condition of the property and does it meet their requirements. So I would say, even on the real estate side, that if you do receive that and the real estate agent has it, make sure that you're sharing that, across all channels.
All channels. That's good to know. That's really good to know, to make sure that the insurance agent has that as well. And in that report, there would be the inspector would not only give the age, but maybe the make of the roof shingles, which I know you guys can give discounts on in certain cases, and also whether it's cement board siding or hardboard or whatever, that also I think would be helpful for the insurance agent. Right?
So I love that you actually brought that up, and that's a lot of times, obviously, if you're buying a new home, and let's say it's a home that you bought 10 years ago, okay? But 10 years ago, you have no idea what type of shingle that they put. You have nothing, because maybe the previous owner, we'll use another example, they bought it from somebody else, but there was no paper trail as far as that goes. I know a lot of times now there's imagery that you can use, and that sometimes even that can help kind of determine when that last roof was put on new, if it's changing colors.
Right.
Something to know. The second one is permits. A lot of people don't know that, if you can pull a permit and you can find that information, it tells you the type of shingle and even the cost. So that's going to help on the insurance side.
And I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways to go about that, but even a contractor sometimes can even help you with that too. Just trying to figure it out. So
that's good to know. And so with that said, I have a question for you. When is the best time for me as a real estate agent to introduce you to a first-time home buyer who is getting ready to look at houses?
I would say as soon as possible.
Okay.
I mean, it's never a bad or wrong time. I mean, for me, I guess, in my opinion,
because your insurance doesn't expire, because your quote probably does expire, but
it does.
You can up it.
It does expire. Easy. Yeah, it does expire. However, letting them know ahead of time, and it just goes back to even my question as far as like what they should know. Is there a copy of that roof? What type of updates?
Yeah.
I know you talked about the inspection even having like HVAC. We want to know, when was the last time the electrical was updated? The plumbing, was it partial? Was it full? So all those things, if we know up front, can help us to make sure where we're going to place the home with.
Okay. Another question for you on the insurance side, what kind of mistakes do you see first-time home buyers making when looking at insurance, when getting ready to purchase a home on the insurance side of things?
There's a lot, but I'd say one of the biggest ones.
That's why you need trusted professionals such as ourselves.
Yes. I'd say one of the most common, I don't need that much in coverage. And here's what I would say. Yes, there is, because there's a difference between what you can sell a property for, so the market value, versus the amount of coverage in the home. So what I mean by that is market value, and you know this, right? It can fluctuate.
Right.
You've been in real estate for over 24 years, so you've seen it fluctuate. Well, the amount of coverage that the insurance looks for, they're only factoring in the cost of the materials, they're factoring in the permits, the taxes, and then obviously the labor behind it all. Those two differ. And so a lot of times they feel like, well, I can sell my house for this amount. We're talking two different things. That's market value. That's not replacement cost.
Replacement value. Okay.
Replacement cost.
And so you're looking at both, but replacement.
Replacement cost is what is for the insurance side. Okay. To rebuild and to repair it accordingly, we need to know that's what's most important to the insurance company, not how much it can be sold for. However, I would say, I know from the bank side, we need to make sure that we're covering the amount of coverage matches equal or over what you're purchasing the home for.
Then why do you think buyers underestimate how much coverage that they are going to need?
They just don't know.
They just
a lot of
times.
You
don't know?
No, they don't know. They don't know. Which again, why is, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to do this series, is because the temperature, the way it feels that it's going to be busy. I think getting out in front of this early on is going to be key. So the more that you know, the more that you're empowered, you're educated, and now you can decide, where you want to go, who you want to work with, and what to look for.
Well, that's what I love about how you conduct your business, is it's so educational. I feel like
Both.
I've learned
both. Yeah, not just me, both.
So much just in our conversations and then doing this series with you, that I feel like I should have known some of these things being in. But the real estate and the insurance side is just so separated. Mm-hmm. And your industry is always changing. My industry is always changing. That's why you're always on top of things on your side. I stay on top of things on my side. You're just so willing to help anybody, even if and you're so truthful. So even if I send you Joe Black and you're like, hey, listen, I can't help you, but here's somebody who can help you, or you shop them around, you're like, this coverage is good for this, you just explain everything. I like for people to make me knowledgeable so I can make the best decision for me.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing.
Love that you do that.
Yeah. Something that I would always say is that, there is Batman. Batman has Alfred. But at the end of the day, Alfred is the one who designs the tools, but Batman is the one that has to go out there and actually perform and do it. Ooh. And so for our clients, the same thing. We are giving you the tools. Here's the education. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this talk, and now you guys go out there and utilize it in the best way that you can. So we'll leave it there.
Yes.
She is
Jen Bennett with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, your realtor for life.
And Jose Dimas, Goosehead Insurance, making insurance simple on purpose.
I love it.
Thank
Thanks,
you guys.
Have a good day.